I am yours and you are mine. That when I feel as if I'm sinking, when I feel as if I'm drowning, that I keep my eyes above the water, above the conditions, above the emotions, water representing conditions and emotions. I keep my eye above that because, boy, if I keep my eye focused on that water, I'm going to drown. If I keep my eye focused there on the tragedy and the trauma and the sadness and the misunderstandings, if I keep my eye focused there, I'm of no earthly good. But if I can raise my gaze just a little bit, just above the horizon of the water, just a little bit, if I can keep my eye single in those moments that are the hardest, my spiritual eye single, my whole body shall be filled with light, with illumination, with effervescence, such that I can rise. This is what we practice here. This is what we teach here. That the only relationship, the only thing of value is our relationship with God, the creator of our being, with Source, with the birther of all life. That is the only relationship that matters, that has value. And when I keep my eyes single on that, every other relationship, whether with an individual, with another person, every other relationship with work, every other relationship with community, every other relationship with Mother Earth, and with all of creation, becomes illuminated. And I can see it clearly. Oh my gosh, I can answer that call. I can answer the call because, believe me, just as we call the name of God, the name of love, the name of the Creator in our being, so too is it calling us by name. Say, I am called by name. That there is that which whispers in my ear and tugs at my heart, that which I know to be myself, that which knows itself, because it created itself as me, as you. So we are called by name. And we crossed a threshold when we walked into the sanctuary, when we walked upon this campus, and that threshold is one in which we are able to shift our gaze from the waters, from the conditions, from believing that we are victim of the world, from the belief that life is happening to us and coming at us, and we shift that gaze and we become right-sided in the name of the Father, Mother, God, infinite Spirit, in its name, in its nature, as the divine idea that I am, as the Christ of my being, as Spirit, holy and divine in this horizontal realm, that I can rise in the vertical when I am properly aligned with my vision and my sight upon Spirit as the only relationship that is of value. And you see, if we are as God created us to be, say, I am as God created me to be. I am as God created me. In the light and the love and the glory. In the light and the love and the glory. I am. I am. You're going to be singing that all week long. And that's perfect. It's by design. I am as God created me in the light and the love and the glory. I am. I am. And so if the I am of my being created me like unto itself, and it talked about it being like the ocean, like the water, imagine yourself then with the power and the strength, the depth and the breadth of the all that is with you, as you, buoying you up so that you can keep your eyes above the water, not only above it, but soaring, but flying like an eagle, that you can see down on the world of appearances and see it anew, see the order, see the transformation, see the beauty, see the opportunity. And you, like that ocean, right here, you, like that ocean of the all that is, you are the creator of your experience. And through the consciousness, the waves go out from the mind into expression, some of which you know and some of which you don't know, and they return right back to you. And all the while, it's not happening to you, all the while, you are the creator of your experience. And what we do in unity is we align God first, main thing. Best relationship, only relationship of value. And from that all proceeds, and I begin to send out the waves of my experience, and they return to me, and they bump up against the other waves. We're all sending them out. And we begin to have a resonance. We begin to resonate as love, as we begin to choose love, which is what we are, which is the name in which we are created. And this is how we behold, I make all things new. So take a breath with me. This is trust. This is trusting the power of the all that is, the depth of the ocean, the breadth of the ocean, of the all that God is. We begin to choose to allow it to guide, allow its divine ideas to populate our being in unique ways that only we can receive and accept and extend and express from. That's what we do. And as we do that, something shifts in magnificent ways. Take a breath with me. I couldn't get my notes to print this morning. But our beloved Jesse to the rescue. And he handed them to me, and I said, I got the idea, I'm not supposed to look at them. And he took them back. And then I took them back. We had this little tug of war with my notes. They're there. I take a breath. I get the opportunity every Sunday. I get the opportunity in front of every class. I get the opportunity, just like you in your life, to decide to choose, to allow that which is greater than my best planning, my best thinking, to lead. And that we can practice in each moment exactly what we practice here. We take a good deep breath, and we pause. And we recalibrate, we right size. I focused on thee, and it is God in which our strength comes from. Our vision, our light, and it extends out. Do you hear something? Oh my gosh, what's going on out there? Wow. Note to self, the windows are amplifiers. If you think you're having a private conversation outside that window, nuh-uh. Guess what else? You can't have a private conversation. You're continuously extending that flow, that vibration of what you are, who you are, how you serve. Everything begins in this consciousness, in this alignment. This is where our strength is. This is our source, our sustenance, our supply. Everything. This is the in God in which we trust. And that's what is printed upon our money, but all that ever meant was, don't forget your source. Don't forget where it comes from. And in this world that we fell asleep in, we forgot a little bit about that, and we became identified with the waves that we sent out. And in that identification, we thought that that's what made us safe. We thought that that's what gave us strength. And it is as if that wave then all of a sudden becomes something that we want to take a hold of and control rather than to allow and release. And it becomes like a disc, like a plate. And I don't know about you, but like when I was a little girl, my parents used to watch these shows where I would see these guys spinning plates. And it's like they would toss a plate up and they had these big long sticks and then they'd start spinning that plate. And you got to keep spinning that plate. But here comes another one. And that plate might represent, oh my gosh, I've become identified that my safety lies in the world. My safety lies in that right relationship. Or I'm going to throw up my safety lies in this career and only this career. And this is the only way I can express. And this is the only way I can support myself. And now my safety lies in whether you like me, whether you approve of me. And so I'm going to have to contort and make sure that I'm not being true to myself so that I can conform, so that you like me, so that you love me. But now I got to go over here and keep spinning this one and that one. Oh, keeps you busy, doesn't it? Anybody feel busy in your life? Spinning a couple plates? What if you let one of them crash? You may feel grief and sadness and loss, but those waves will subside and you will realize that that which you thought you were is not contingent upon these plates that you spin. It's contingent upon a relationship with God and returning to our divine identity, returning to our source. Shifting the eye from all of this to that divine eye so that I don't drown in my busyness, in my keeping afloat. Because of my own self, I cannot do it. The beauty of age, the beauty of wisdom is that many of us have already learned that we can let it go. Many of us have learned that they come crashing down and that we're okay. The beauty of wisdom and being in a wise community such as this is that those who are younger and newer who come in, we can share our wisdom. But what we must remember is that while we were in the era of spinning these plates, while we were in the era of accomplishment in the world, which there's nothing wrong with that, we will find that when we're rightly aligned, we'll accomplish so much more. But of our own self, trying to accomplish and keep those plates spinning. While we were doing that and learning this lesson in time and space on the horizontal axis, life and consciousness was evolving. It's evolving. And there are those who have incarnated at a later time that know what we're talking about. They know we don't have to spin those plates. We might look at them and think, what are they up to? What are they doing? We might want to judge them. But I say they already got that lesson and they're just figuring out the plate they're going to spin, but it won't be up there. It'll be right here. It'll be in that alignment with all that is, and it'll be like the sound of a crystal bowl. And you sing that bowl, and you spin in a different way from the centeredness, and a sound emanates out, and it's beautiful. And we will look at everyone and we'll go, wow, I would have never thought of that. Something new is seeking to emerge. And the wise ones in our community must hold the space and keep the space for those who are coming, who have already kind of somehow through the evolution of consciousness gotten this message already. And let us support in the wisdom, and let us love and behold the new consciousness that is coming through, that knows we don't need to spin all those plates. We don't need to keep things going unless that which is back of it is the consciousness of the all that is. Does any of that make sense? Something new is seeking to emerge. And in the emergence of this new, it's very uncomfortable because it seems like some things are crashing. Fear not. That which is meant to be will be. And sometimes in the crashing, in our releasing of our control and our hold on the way that we think things ought to be, if we can just go through that discomfort for a little while, the strength and the power of the all that is buoys us up, rocks us in the waves. And soon we can walk upon that water. God is the strength in which I trust. God consciousness is the strength in which I trust. I can let go of control. I was squeezing the life out of it anyway, strangling it. And I had all these threads and all these plates spinning. And I became entangled in the illusion of the dream. And I remember when I was a little girl and I was in some class where we had all these strings. We had to untangle them, and I couldn't do it because I was pulling on them and trying so hard. And I took them to the teacher. And she just calmed down, and we just kind of gently separated them so that they could let go of one another. We're in a big let go, my beloveds. We saw tens of thousands of people let go of their life recently. How can that make any sense? In human terms, it makes no sense whatsoever. But we're just having a human experience as Christ is the divine. We know something's happening. That's amazing that a whole group of people would exit the experience at the same time. And their spirit, holy and divine. They've just moved on. But there's nowhere to go. And so in that oneness, we are still one with all of them, all of this, everything that is going on. And we accept and allow. So our practice is that love, which is what we are, who we are, how we serve. It embraces all of this. There's no waste. There can be nothing outside. We embrace it all. We welcome it all. All the waves, all the plates we're spinning, all this, all that. And when we're rightly aligned, we know which ones to let go of. And it's okay. It's okay. So our practice is that love not only embraces it all, but it trusts it all. It just trusts everything. If we were to walk forth this week trusting that all of creation, trusting that the universe, trusting that the person who has upset me, trusting that the tragedy that I'm perceiving, if we can trust that everything is for us. We say this in our teaching. It's all for us, nothing's against us, except this. And so the challenge, the assignment this week is to make no exception to the truth that we speak. The challenge is to embrace that which you want to reject, that which you are so very certain is not for you. You will awaken in this practice to embrace it all, to love it all, to trust it, to trust the diagnosis, to trust the breakup, to trust that which looks like death, to trust the disharmony, to trust somebody's playing a flute out there, to trust the things that the phone ringing, and to embrace it and to incorporate it all. And then you might say, well, then what? Never fails, like in a class. So what do I do then? What do I do in this situation, that situation, this one? And people look at me. And what I have learned to say is this. Lean in. Come on, go like this. Lean in. This is what I've learned to say. I don't know. I don't know. But you will. As you raise the eye above the water and you call the name, God, Spirit Creator, all that is. And He calls your name as Christ, as love, as the spark of the divine, as Spirit, holy and divine, nothing more than your right mind. And this is your strength. And in this strength, in this seeming defenselessness, in this seeming gentleness, in this seeming poised space, the voice for God speaks to you. It's not up there, a plate spinning. It's resonant right in here. And you will know what to do, what to say, and when to be quiet and still. This is what we trust. In God we trust, in love we trust. And then we allow and let it be. Let your shoulders drop. You don't need to fix the world. You don't need to fix your friend. You don't need to fix your spouse. You don't need to fix your child, your parent. You don't need to fix the political realm. You don't need to fix the financial realm. We do this, and we create anew. And that which crumbles, crumbles. We honor it. We don't vilify it, we honor it. We made it. Must have served at that time. But our evolution of consciousness has brought us to a point where we don't need to spin and toil, truly. But we be the creators and the allowers of the intelligence of life itself, which is not separate, to guide us. This is what we trust in. And in our allowance, we let it be. In our allowance, we let it be. Say, I let it be. I let it be. I allow. I trust. I trust the creator of all that is. I trust that it is within me. I raise my eye to spirit and I rise. I rise. I rise. As I rise, all rise. And I see anew. And I allow and trust. Take a breath.